Okay, so here's a cracking little dish for my new restaurant, Constance, that's opening in June. We're going to have oysters on the menu. Of course we are. It's a British brasserie. But we've got them hot, we've got them cold, we've got them Irish, we've got them French. If you have them hot, you're having them Rockefeller. This is my Oyster Rockefeller. Virginia Trioli sent me this book all the way from Australia. How blooming sweet is that? The title definitely got me a little bit nervous, but this is an incredible book all about food, about a delicious life. Thank you, Victoria. You're a sweetheart. Thank you. Okay, so this is how I make Oysters Rockefeller. This is how I serve my oysters hot. We take these beautiful oysters. These are Regal oysters from France, the boutrais oysters. They go in here flat side down into a pan. Stay with me, this gets really weird. We're going to do a number of these. There are lots of ways of doing Rockefeller, but this is my way. I like it, obviously. Right, into that goes 1 green chilli. Split that down the middle, pop it down the center of those oysters and leave that in there. In there we want a nice bottle of beer. Don't want to use something bitter, you want a nice Power Lager. The one I recommend the most is my one, Trinity beer. In it goes. Beer goes over the top of the oysters. We're going to put a little lid on that, a little cartouche. And then we're going to turn that on and we're going to bring that up to a boil. Simple as that. This is mega. Right. Okay, so those oysters have had about 5 or 7 minutes now, just in simmering in that beer. Smells incredible, irony and saline, and the sort of, you can smell the hoppy beer. It's brilliant. They're not open yet, but you can see they're sort of starting to want to open. Stop them there now, and we're going to get them open and take it to the next stage. So all you need to do is open it like you normally would an oyster. Put in the oyster opener. And I'll show you this one. Just cut that muscle at the top, and you can see that oyster's just starting to set really nicely. So we'll open them like that. Use a cloth because your hands are more precious than the oyster. In it goes, twist, and it will pop. Because this is almost cooked as well, start to set. Look how beautiful that is. You can just hook underneath that muscle and flip it over. Look at that. Absolutely, that's a thing of beauty, Sam. Look at that. That is a special thing. But they're not fully cooked all the way through, they're not rubbery or anything like that, but they are starting to set nicely. We just pop them on there. And what we're really interested in is this beer liquor that's left in here. This is what's going to use to create our sauce. And any juice like that goes back in, that's really important. I think this dish has got a place. A lot of people don't like raw oysters. I do, but a lot of people don't like them. And if you're new to oysters or you don't like raw oysters, this is a really fantastic way of using them. Mega. See these oysters, Adam? Imagine if we'd have done that dish the other day with these oysters. They are off the charts. Right, what's interesting here is we just whipped this little chili out that's been poached in the beer. We're going to use this in a bit. Just take out the seeds and get rid of the root. So I think this fits really well with this dish. This dish is going to have flavors of beer, spinach, nutmeg, a little bit of warmth in there, the saline from the oyster. We're just going to very simply make a little roux and use the cooking liquor in there as our liquid for the roux. And I'll just quickly brunoise this bit of chili, hold on to that, and that's going to go back through our sauce at the end. Right, you can stay right there and we'll get on with the beer. This wants to be passed now through a chinois. So we're just going to make this into here. We've got a roux, a very classic roux, 50-50 butter and flour that goes in, gently melt together. We're looking for that wet sand texture and colour. So no coloration, just a light golden colour. And then we can start adding in our oyster beer. Right, once that's cooked out for a minute or two, butter's all melted, flour's in there nicely. Slowly we can go in with our oyster beer, let it incorporate. Don't throw it all in at once or you just end up with huge lumps. In that goes nicely. Seen me make a roux many times before. This is a bit different because you're making it with a stock rather than with milk or dairy or cream or whatever, but that part is coming, but it comes later on. And this is more like how we would make a nice chicken velouté sauce with a stock, only the stock this time is our oyster beer. In that it goes. Let's let that come up to the boil. Cook that flour out really nicely. It's thickening, and we're almost creating like the texture of what you would know as a Mornay sauce, a cheese Mornay sauce. All the fun for this comes later on once we've got the sauce made. We can start loading that with loads and loads of great flavours that are going to be brilliant with our oysters. These will be on the menu at Constance, I believe. If this particular dish test goes right, it'll be exactly as you see it now. And they'll be on the menu and part of the menu at Constance, our British brasserie that opens on the... I don't know if I can say that on the camera, because, you know, these things change. Builders are builders and all that. But that's what we're aiming for, and I hope you'll come and join us. Come and see us down there. Opens on the beep. That's beautiful. Look at the lovely silky texture of that. This is like I was born to do this, Sam. Beautiful. Right, into there we're now going to add a bit of crème fraiche to give that sort of lovely lactic feeling. Nice smooth, nice fat in there as well, so it's rich and decadent. Look at that, absolutely fantastic. We want to cook that out for a little bit. Got a couple of bits to add to that. So we're now going to add the lovely green chilies back in. That warmth, that heat going to go in there. Just a little bit. In it goes. This here is spinach that's been cooked down with a bit of garlic, wilted down, hand chopped. That goes in. That can just be cold. You could do that a day before. We've got that lovely spinach in there. And then nutmeg, I think. Wonderful. From Wren's Pantry. Best spice supplier in London. There's a beautiful nutmeg. In it goes, beautiful. And now the last thing is some wonderful aged parmesan. This is going to give us that sort of gratination effect at the end, but also give us the cheesy element and that umami part that we're looking for. And I guess this is where it sort of turns into almost like a Mornay sauce. I'm very happy with that sauce though.
That's going to go on Instagram, someone's going to go. No.
Right, Sam, back in the game. Ready? There's that absolutely fabulous sauce. That goes on top of our oyster. Don't be shy, fill up that shell as much as it will allow. So that's it, as much of that lovely sauce as you can get on there as possible. A few, not too many, but a few breadcrumbs on top. Just soaks up any extra juice that comes out of that oyster. It gives us a little crunch on the top. Then I'm going to go with a bit more parmesan, just to make sure we're hitting all those notes. And then this is going to go into an oven or a grill. If you've got a grill at home, even better. I don't have a grill here, oddly enough, don't ask. So we're going to go into a really hot oven and give that about 5 minutes to glaze in a hot oven. Whoa, big smoky oven. Wish them luck. Right, let's make a few more for the team. Okay, so there you go. That is my Oysters Rockefeller for Restaurant Constance. I really hope you'll come along. I hope you'll order my oysters. Perhaps even give it a go. I think these are absolutely delicious, completely unique. You're never going to eat anything like that. And they are wonderful. Happy cooking.